So the other day we have just started an introductory session of karma. We have learned, what is karma, and we have learned that it is any kind of action we perform, and also the intermediary or the, apurvam or an effect which is generated from that action. So both these are called karma. And we have also learned that from this action, there is a result produced, and this result is given by the Bhagavan. So the souls or the Jivatma or, ourselves, we are the doers of the karma, and the results are given by the Bhagavan. And we have also learned about three types of, karmas which we perform or which we store in our lifetimes: the Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agami karma. So after this, today, we are going to learn a little bit more about, the actions we do, how we do, and what is the, intermediary generated, and the results. How are we getting the results, and or how are we enjoying the results? So there are three phases of karma. The law of karma states that there are three phases of karma. So the first one is action, the second one is intermediary or apurvam, and the third one is the result. For this, when it comes to the action, the karma, we do it in three forms. The first one is the manasa karma, the second one is called the vachika karma, and the third one is called the kayaka karma. So what is manasa karma? Manasa karma is, I think this is the most important and crucial karma which we do not notice that we are doing, but we keep on doing this karma. This is the voluntary thoughts which we generate. That is the manasa karma. So when we generate voluntarily many thoughts, maybe it may be a good thought, or it may be to harm somebody, or to think ill of somebody, or something which is not right. So this manasika karma, this karma is called the manasa karma, or voluntarily, like voluntary thought also. So which is generated by mind. The second one is the vachika karma, which is with the speech, and the third one is the kayaka karma, which is a bodily action or a physical action. So anything you're doing with your body, if you are using your body to clean a temple, that way you are generating a good deed. Basically, we have talked about papam and punyam also the other day, good deeds and bad deeds. So good deed is something which pleases the God, and the bad deed or the papam is something which displeases him or which he disapproves. So that is the papam and punyam. So, any type of karma which we perform, whether it's manasika karma, vachika karma, or kayika karma, we have to enjoy the result of it, whatever we do. So, when we are doing these actions, and in general, what is the role of God? What does exactly Bhagwan do for us when we are doing these actions, or in general? So, all these souls, right from the Prabhavam means the creation of the universe. Right from the universe, all the souls, they are entitled with this karma bondage. So depending on their karma, Bhagwan gets, a sankalpam. He takes a sankalpam to make a creation. Everything we have heard many times, how this creation happens. He has all the raw material inside of him, the Panchabhutas, the avyakta tamas, the vyakta tamas, the ahankaram, the mind, the buddhi, everything he has inside of him in a subtle form, which is the avyakta form. So when he takes up a sankalpam, what they say is usually when the quality of compassion comes out of him, he decides to take, give this creation, a form, and let all these souls again, according to their karmas, lead their lives, and then maybe, any of these souls decide to to surrender to the Lord and come out of this bondage. This all happens again, with his permission only. So what he does is he does this creation for us, for all the souls to again come into this creation and lead this life, take these karmas and bring these karmas, and designs their life to enjoy these karmas. That is the first thing he does. And second thing, what he does is he gives us the knowledge and ability. As we all know, every soul has knowledge to it. But with this karmas, what we perform, our knowledge and wisdom is covered with these karmas. So that's why our wisdom is not very, clear or evident. And we do not, with that karma, with that wisdom, we perform these actions. So when our wisdom is not complete, we do not know what we are doing. We just do everything in ignorance, even though all the souls have that wisdom and knowledge. So what is the second role of Bhagwan? He gives us knowledge and ability to do these actions. The third one is he has given, this is very important. If we can understand the concept of this free will, from at least now on, we can be in awareness and we can decide what we are doing with our life. So the third thing what he does is he has given us free will. Free will in Sanskrit, it's called, Jiva Swatantriyamu, or in general terms, what we understand is the Sankalpa Shakti which we have. Because we have got that wisdom, we also have this Sankalpa Shakti or the free will. This free will is something which plays an important role in this karma, whatever we are doing. So that is the third thing which he gives. And the fourth thing is, whenever we decide to perform an action, he is the one who permits us to do that action. And the fifth thing is, he has given us all the tools to perform the action. But it does not mean, he has given us all the tools, he has given us the free will. Even though he is the permitter for us to do the actions, he is not the one who is pushing us to do the action. Only in certain scenarios he does that. We will see what that is. But in general, in our day-to-day life, in every action what we are doing, he is not the one who is pushing us to do the action. It is us who are deciding to do that action. But when we decide to take that action, he is the one who permits or who sanctions us to do that action. So what exactly, how does Bhagwan do this? We will see in detail. So there are two roles of Bhagwan in this action form. What it is the first one is called the Udasinatvam and the second one is called Amantritvam. What does these terms mean? So for us to understand easily, the first one, Udasinatvam, means he will be indifferent to our actions. That means this is where our free will comes into existence. So what does that mean, that he is indifferent? That means everyone, whenever we do an action, there is a series of steps which we follow, when we are doing an action. The first step is we will see something, or we will know something where the action needs to be performed. That is the first step. That is called, in Sanskrit, that is called janati. And then the second step is we desire to do something. That is the ichchati form of the action. And then you make an effort to do that action. That is called the prayatati. So in these three steps, the janati, or knowing or seeing to do an action. The second step is desiring to do that action. And the third step is you're making an effort to do that action. In these three steps, the Bhagavan is indifferent. That means he does not interfere with us. This is the state where, the soul or the Jivatma or ourself, we have something called free will, where we can choose, what is the best thing to do here. The free will is used, and this is where our wisdom comes into picture. This is where our knowledge comes into picture. This is where our awareness comes into picture. Because since we have free will here, the Bhagavan is not doing anything. He just stays back and sees what you're thinking, what your thought process is, and what you want to do. So using that free will, using the options what we have, using our wisdom, using our knowledge, being in awareness, it is our job to pick the right thing to do. So when we decide to do that action, whether it is right or wrong, the next step, the last step is the karoti, where we perform this action. That's where he sanctions or he permits that action. So until here, he does not interfere with our actions. It is us who are the decision makers. But once we make that decision, and once we decide to do that action, he permits the action. So here we may get a question. Does Bhagwan permit all the actions? He sanctions or permits all the actions. And does he not interfere in our thoughts at all? Means what we have to understand is here also karma is interlinked. Our karma, our sanchita karma again comes into action, or our agami karma, what the Bhagavan wants, in certain situations. If he wants that the dharma needs to be protected here, he is gonna interfere in our free will, and also he is gonna interfere in the sanctioning of the action. So we are gonna see some known examples for us where he interferes with the free will, and also he interferes with the sanctioning of the action. So when it comes to the, the first three, he knows, he sees, he desires, he makes an effort to do. Does the Bhagavan interfere here? So as we all know, Bhagavan is called the Hrishikesha. He has this name. He is called Hrishikesha. What does this name mean? Hrishi Kamalu in Sanskrit means our Indriyas. So this name means the one who controls our senses, the one who controls our Indriyas. Whenever necessary, he has the capability to control our Indriyas. So what he does is he controls our Indriyas. So where did we see this? The very, very prominent example where we have seen this is in the war of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna is all ready, all set to do the war. He asks Lord Krishna, the Krishna Paramatma, to take the chariot into the middle of the war field, and he wants to see the entire war field before he starts the war. So when Lord Krishna takes the chariot into the middle of the war field, he realizes, um, what we have to learn here is the Krishna avatar. The Krishna Paramatma has taken that avatar to give us the Bhagavad Gita, because after the Dwapara Yugam, the next Yugam which is going to come or which has come closer is the Kali Yugam. In Kali Yuga, the people who are living in Kali Yuga, they do not know how a life needs to be led. They lose all the wisdom, or they are in complete ignorance because of their karmas. So they do not know how to lead a life. So he needs to give the Bhagavad Gita for the people who are living in Kali Yuga. And almost, as we all know, when the Kurukshetra war happens, Sri Krishna Paramatma is almost like 89 years old. So I think he lives as far as I remember correctly, I think he lives for around like 120 years. So another 40 years. Before that, he needs to give the Bhagavad Gita to the world. So he thinks this is the best time for me to give the Bhagavad Gita, and he uses his capability of Rishikeshatvam, and he controls the Indriyas of Arjuna, and he creates or he brings in a sadness in Arjuna. Arjuna is a great warrior. He is called the Gudakesha. Gudakesha means who has uh, you know, one, the, habit of sleeping or the lethargy or the laziness. He does not have these qualities in him, Arjuna. He is a great warrior. But he controls the mind of Arjuna. There, he utilizes this, his, the guna of Rishikeshatvam, and he controls the mind of Arjuna and puts this sadness in him, where he feels sad for his entire family. He sees that his grandfather is staying, he's across him in the other side of the war field. His Acharya is on the other side of the war field. His cousins, who has troubled him his entire life, he gets that sympathy or pity over them. Everybody is standing on the other side, and if I kill them, I'm gonna get this papam of killing them. So when he talks in these words, that's where Sri Krishna Paramatma teaches him what is the righteousness to do, what is his dharma to do at that point of time, and he gives the entire Bhagavad Gita to this world, so that whoever generations who are coming forward next in, Kali Yuga, they can look into this Bhagavad Gita as a manual. When we open a new toy, once we start fixing the toy, we read the manual first. If we fix any, toy or an instrument, without reading that manual, there are every chance that we may go wrong in fixing that manual, fixing that toy, or the toy running properly. So he has given Bhagavad Gita for that. Every human being should read Bhagavad Gita and should understand Bhagavad Gita from a right guru, so that they can lead their life, in peace. Even though they see difficulties, they can overcome these difficulties, or they can face these difficulties with that knowledge what they have from this Bhagavad Gita. So here he has used that Rishikeshatvam, and he has induced that sadness into Arjuna, where Arjun is not sad, but he induces that sadness into him before performing an action. So this is where he can interfere in our free will. And also when he sanctions, we may have a question. Does he always sanction the action what we want to do? Means yes, most of the times he sanctions, but again here the karma comes into action. How does karma comes into action is, suppose if a person called A wants to harm a person called B. A wants to harm B. So when he wants to, either slap him or hit him, if that person B does not have any karma to face that pain, then the Bhagwan comes into picture and he does not let this action happen, because the person B is not allowed to face that problem. Only if he has the karma to face that pain, then only that action is sanctioned. Otherwise, Bhagwan comes into action to stop that action. He does not let, again, he uses his power. He controls his the person's senses, and he does not let that action happen. So that's how the Bhagwan controls our actions. And what else does the Bhagwan do? So after this karma is performed, this immediately what we learn, that is the intermediary or the apurvam which is generated. So the Bhagwan is the one who stores this apurvam. He may store it for few minutes, he may store it for few hours, he may store it for few days, he may store it for a life, he may store it for few lives, depending on how that action needs to be utilized, or the apurvam needs to be utilized. So for this, does Bhagwan do anything? Yes. What he does is, he groups a certain group of people who has similar set of actions, where these actions can be performed and these people can enjoy the result of that action. So what he does is, he groups the people and he delivers the result to this people. He arranges the people as well, he arranges the situation, and then he gives the result. That's what he does. So how does he gives the result? Result comes in three ways. As we have learned, it comes in the form of either happiness or the sadness, and also it comes in the form of ruchi and vasana. So what is ruchi and what is vasana? So when we keep on, performing these actions, what happens is, there is an imprint formed within that, soul. For that soul, a set of imprints are formed. These are called ruchi and vasana. Ruchi is the desires, or the voluntary actions which we want to do. That is desires. Like you want to eat something, you crave for something, or this is something you voluntarily crave for it. Whereas the vasanas are the imprints which you crave for them involuntarily. You don't know that you're doing. It just happens. Like you wake up in the morning, you go, you use the washroom, or you brush your teeth. Those are all involuntary actions which you're doing. Those are, the samskaras which are imprinted in you. So what are samskaras and what are vasanas? So samskaras are something which are like superficial, superficial imprints, involuntary imprints, whereas the vasanas are the deeper imprints which are in your DNA. So sometimes we see people who does these actions, involuntarily, without even, they don't even know that they are doing that. That means those vasanas are deeply imprinted in them. So these are the results, which are given by the god, the ruchi and vasana. So depending, using our free will, when we start to do the actions in our awareness, using our wisdom and knowledge, we can slowly, if these ruchi and vasana are not for the good, we can slowly, and gradually erase these imprints from our DNA. So the third one is the eligibility and ineligibility. What does this mean? The eligibility is the promotions which he gives in to understand better in our spiritual terms. It is the transformation, that is the eligibility. Depending on your karmas, depending on your free will, depending on the use of your free will and your effort, he is going to give the eligibility for us to go forward in life, to move forward in life, or depending on how we are using the free will, how our actions are. If we are, doing bad deeds, if we are accumulating papam, he gives us the ineligibility. That means he demotes us in our life. So this is all what Bhagwan does in, our actions, the intermediary and the results. And we are going to continue in our next session. We are going to give a conclusion to this, what is the best thing for us to lead our life, to please Bhagwan or to come out of this karmic bondage. And if any one of you have any type of questions, please. So the other day we
Okay, friends, that is karma and free will, day 2. Understand అయిందా? ఐఫోన్ ఎవరు ఒకసారి అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి. ఐఫోన్
యా నాదే అండి.
ఎవరు? మీ నేమ్?
నా నేమ్ సృజన అండి.
సృజన. ఓ యుఎస్ నుంచా?
ఎస్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి. మీ నేమ్ పెట్టుకోండి నెక్స్ట్ జాయిన్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు.
యా షూర్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అండి.
యా వెల్కమ్ అండి. యూకే సెషన్ లో ఫస్ట్ జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారా సృజన గారు?
యా నేనే జాయిన్ అయ్యాను.
ఓకే, ఇది యూకే సెషన్ కదండి, మీకు యూకే సెషన్ అనే జాయిన్ అయ్యారా?
యాక్చువల్గా యూఎస్ అని కూడా టైమింగ్స్ అని కూడా చెప్పేసి ఇచ్చారు కదా, 4:30 అని
చెప్తాం.
చెప్పేసి.
యా చెప్తాం. అన్ని కంట్రీస్ ఎవరైనా జాయిన్ అవ్వచ్చు. అంటే మనకి డైలీ 3 సెషన్స్ జరుగుతాయి కదా. ఒకటి ఇండియాది జరుగుతుంది, సెకండ్ యూకేలో, థర్డ్ది యుఎస్ లో.
యుఎస్ ఎప్పుడండి? టైమింగ్స్ ఎప్పుడండి?
8 యుఎస్ టైమింగ్స్ 8 PM.
అంటే సాటర్డే సండే డిఫరెంటా అండి?
లేదు, ఎవ్రీ డే సేమ్ టైం కి క్లాస్ జరుగుతుంది.
8
ఇండియా
in the
టైం
night అండి?
9 PM కి. ఇండియా టైం 9 PM, యూకే యూ టైం 8 PM, 8 to 9 PM ఉంటుంది మాకు. యుఎస్ టైమింగ్స్ 8 to 9 PM.
ఓ, అయితే రోజు నేను జాయిన్ అవుతున్నాను. ఎప్పుడంటే 11:30కి జాయిన్ అవుతాను, ఇండియా టైమింగ్ అనుకుంటా రోజు.
ఇండియా
నేను
టైమింగ్స్
అదే టైమింగ్స్ అనుకుంటున్నా. నాకు తెలీదు ఇట్లా. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏమనుకుంటున్నానంటే సాటర్డే వీకెండ్ కదా, ఈ టైంకి పెట్టారేమో